Hello, everybody. It's Thursday. It's Andy Given Thursday. Grab a frosty beverage. Let's hang out. Let's talk comic books because we're doing a deep dive into the modern age era of comic books. So stay tuned. While you're sitting here, really quick, we'll run the intro. Do us a favor, and in that description right down there, find these guys' channels and information, and quick head down there, click on the links, and subscribe to them. Check out their content. See what they have to offer. Support the community, right? So let's go.
This is Andy.
Excitement's building.
This is Thursday.
I'm nervous. Breathe with me, guys.
And this is Andy on Thursday. That's right, we gave Andy his own show.
No way. No way.
Yes way, Andy.
Holy sheet.
Holy sheet indeed. Andy Given Thursday. Live every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on the Comic Core.
Holy sheet indeed. It is Andy Given Thursday, and we are back. Like I said, please take a moment to check the description down below. Open that up. Look for the guests' links and check out their IG, check out their YouTube pages, and sub them up. Support the community. We're here to do a deep dive on the modern age of comic books tonight. So let's head up this chat really quick before I introduce everybody. We had some tailgaters in here tonight. Thank you, Rod the Rican, baby. Just stopping by to say hi and yo. And he's still in the chat hanging out. Chris Barrett. You can't start a show without Chris Barrett in the chat, right? Rhino, welcome back from your tour, COVID tour. Hope all is well, man. DNP, baby, good to see you, man. Hopefully that studio redo is going well. We miss you and look forward to seeing you. Hopefully we can still get together this Saturday and do that read on, I think it's your channel. It's probably Jackson's channel this weekend. The Great Legend, great to see you, man. Backseat Driver, thanks for hanging out. Always good to see you in the chat, man. Thanks for your support. Always enjoy your content as well. Stream Elements bot's running. We can officially start the show. All right. So let's get into our guest tonight. Let me introduce our first one tonight. We've got Justin Comics.
How's it going, everybody?
Much, man. You think you're muted, though.
Oh.
There you go.
There we go. Cool. Thank you so much.
Please, if you guys don't know Justin, go down in the description and check out the links and find his YouTube channel and sub him up. You're on the up and up with some really good content. You've done some unboxings. You're a huge Flash fan too, right?
Yes. I have something so far. Every single video I've posted or been on, I've been wearing one version of my, let's fix the video here, of my Flash shirt here. So I have probably 5 or 6 shirts. Obviously they're always clean, but every single video I'm going to try my best to have a Flash shirt on and keep that running.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I appreciate your content because not being a dedicated reader or follower of Flash, I can quick head over to your channel and catch your content, and I can learn a lot more.
Oh, cool. I appreciate that.
Than what it would take to sit down and buy every Flash book and read it. So I like that avenue, and I really appreciate how much you like Flash and what you share with the community on there.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time tonight, man. I'm really interested in hearing your opinion and your perspective on the modern age here. But let's get to guest number 2. And this is third or fourth appearance for Mr. Skeff's Comic Knowledge, man.
There he is.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you guys, too. How y'all doing tonight?
Good. Good. How are you, man?
Oh, no complaints. No complaints. Just get ready for a fun discussion for the Thursday night. It's going to be fun.
Yes. Looking forward to it. So everybody that if you're in the chat here and don't know Skeff, please hit that description down below. Check out those links. Sub him up. You're approaching 700.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
You're going to hit 700 subs here.
So close. So close.
Awesome. I bet you're going to crest that with your next unboxing, your CGC unboxing.
I hope so. I would hope so.
That's a big deal. That's a big number.
It is. I'm very humbled and thank you. Whatever. I'm just very excited to people enjoy seeing my face on this whole YouTube out here.
Yes. It's a good time, man. Those blind unboxings are my favorite, man. I love doing those and I love watching those.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's rolling into the chat now after the alerts. Thank you, DS Comics, for stopping by, man. Appreciate you and your knowledge and what you have to share with the community. It's awesome. DMP still here. Chris Barrett's still here. Legend's still here. Thanks, guys. And our fourth guest hasn't quite arrived. He's probably still taking care of some real life stuff. Sure. As soon as he pops in, we'll get him introduced and get him in here. So tonight we're going to do a deep dive into the modern age of comics.
Oh, BRB.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take care of it. We're going to do a deep dive into the modern age of comics. There's a number of questions and thoughts that are posed. So I'm wondering, Justin, really quick, if you could share with us and share with the viewers, how do you define the modern age of comics, and where do you define it?
So first off, it's a great question to even think about because I did a little bit of research after and you invited me earlier this week, and I was like, that's a great discussion topic. Why hasn't modern age, kind of concluded? Because if you look at all the other numbers as far as gold and silver and I guess what was it? I guess you would call it copper or modern in continuation of why haven't we seen a different modern or a postmodern age, so to speak. And I did a little bit of digging, and we are at the conclusion of the modern age. So I found a couple different sites, and they're all kind of saying the same exact thing of we are, if you looked at it from like, going to school type of, I guess, terminology, we are at the senior year of modern comics. So within the next few years, we should definitely either see, like you said, a diamond age, a steel age, or which makes most sense to me would be a postmodern kind of neo-silver age. And I read this huge article on it, and I'll definitely send it to you so you can look over it. But the ages tend to correlate with what's going on around us in our lifetime. And we've seen, I can definitely post it. I think I did a couple videos on it, but those kind of holographic, translucent covers of like the button with Batman and Flash, which I should have gotten those out. But just like this one, I mean, I have a brand new comic from yesterday of Batman 94, and this is a hard stock, beautiful cover. I mean, you don't get that, and I wish they would start doing some of these with the Flash because I mean, this is just extremely flimsy, and you can see that it's already been rolled, and it's got some foxed edges. And I mean, obviously, I don't mind spending $1 more knowing that I'm going to get a better cover and something that's going to stand up a little bit more. Now, I'm not disappointed with these covers at all. Welcome, Vince. And but I expect us, as far as the comic book community, although things are tending to go a little bit digital, I expect the modern age to be concluding very soon into something a little bit better, different numbers, and that way that can just change the way of comic aging. So
right, it's a super interesting take. And really quick here, I'll break for a moment to introduce someone who has probably one of my top 5 favorite YouTube channel names, and that's Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine, baby.
Great name.
What's up, dude?
I thought you were going to say my name.
Thanks for joining. Oh, you're in there too. You're in the top 5. Right?
Hey, you can't have all of the freaking like popularity over there, Skeff.
Why?
Some of
Why
us,
can't
like,
I want all of it?
some of
I
us
want
that
all
just
of
like
it.
started around the same time, and then you just happen to be like all CGC related, and people are gonna be into that. So I would almost say that's kind of clickbaity, but whatever. You still
100%. If
you
I could
still
take my
are
shirt
coming
off to
out.
get views, I would take my shirt off to get views.
Very cool. Awesome. So everybody in the chat, everybody watching on the replay, please do us a favor and expand that description down below and look for the special guest information and check out all these guys and their channel links and their IG. Follow them up. Check out their content. Everything they have to offer is awesome stuff. So yeah, please help support them and help support that community. It's a good time. I mean,
Yes.
What would this community be without all of us and all of our opinions?
It would go nowhere.
Less handsome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Less
So-
handsome.
My first question to Justin, Skeff, and we'll continue to go around the horn here and with you next was, how do you define modern age, you as a collector, and where do you define it? You know what I mean?
Jay, want to take it?
Well, he asked me first, but yeah, I'll touch on it since y'all are both here a little bit again. But
well, yeah, this is the question for Justin, and then while you were gone, you're up next.
Okay, so I guess for me, for modern, it's kind of weird. Like I actually kind of picture anything modern from like the 90s and up. I know like CGC defines modern as 1975 to like now for like getting a book graded. Like that's a modern tier. But like once you hit like that 75 to 80, like the books are just harder. Like I feel like they're not modern. Like they kind of like they're different paper, different material. They're harder to grade. But like for me, modern is pretty much like anything from that 90s explosion where there's a million print runs of it to like now. That's where I kind of like view like a modern book. And that's what I kind of like try to like. I feel those are easier to come by in better condition.
Right. Awesome. And there's some caveats to that. We'll continue on here in a moment. But moving to Vincent, man, as a collector, how do you define modern age in your collection and your habits? And, you know, where do you find it? Is there like a time frame that you kind of hone in
on? For me, modern, I don't know. It kind of depends, I feel like, because, you know, you take a look at, like Skeff said, the time frame, right? So 1985 and on. But for me, I would consider like Wolverine #1 from 1988 is like bronze copper. So it's kind of hard to like with those ones to really find out like where it's at. But like for collecting purposes, I don't think I have like a real like solid definition of like when I look for the book for it, to be honest. Like at that point, like I'm looking at, is it a first appearance? Is it a second appearance? You know, is it a classic cover? And that's what I'm looking for books.
Yeah, DS, that's a good point.
You know, like obviously like finding stuff that's like Silver Age is always really good, and like legitimate Bronze Age, right? Those are the things that are big. But like, for example, Spawn #1, right? So a lot of people consider this modern, but for the year it's at, it's really technically like copper. So, you know, like, is it really modern? Should it only ever be in a 9.8? You know, there were so many copies of it made. So it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to really see where that's at. And because the comic book community doesn't really identify where that's at, makes it even harder. Because like we were talking yesterday, modern is like 35 years, right? Yeah. So it's up to us. It's up to us to change the ways.
So this poses a couple of great questions that we'll lead into eventually here. And really quick, modern age for me is one of those tough things to really pinpoint, because CGC, Overstreet, and some other areas pin those early 80s Punisher stuff. Like the miniseries Volume 1 is considered modern age right now, depending on where you look at. I personally do not believe that that's modern age, in my opinion. But if you look at the definitions of it, 1985, what was that volume? That miniseries, I think, was 87 or 88, something like that. That to me just doesn't fit in the modern age area. So there's a lot of questions that one question could pose a lot of thought process and ideas and other questions. And that the idea really isn't to find answers. It's more to figure out where this will eventually lead to and try to pose more questions, because that leads me into my next question, going around the horn kind of, and it doesn't necessarily have to go around the corn. We can bounce off of each around the corn. I must be hungry or something like that. We can really just kind of bounce off back and forth of each other. So who is in charge of this?
Good question. Yeah.
Seriously, when I do a deep dive, when I do a deep dive and I look, my first thought was like, well, the Overstreet price guide and the panel that does Overstreet is in charge of this. And when I dig in, I'm like, I don't know. So that's an open question I'm posing. Who is in charge of determining where and when an age of a comic book begins and ends? And is it, it's kind of rhetorical, but I mean, is it the entire community that comes to a consensus, or is it one governing body?
I think it's the community, honestly, because
Sure.
I think we collectively, like in the next 10 years, will the book that you purchased, in 2001 or 1999, will that still be considered a modern book? Like, how long are we going to keep going until like what we're looking at today? Don't lie. And what changes, honestly? I feel like we determine what it is collectively, like what is a modern, what changes, things like that. But then you have grading companies that they classify a book like on their website from 1975 till whenever they want to cut it off as a modern book to get graded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, right, like CGC's website says 1975 dash question mark infinity symbol until we change it is modern.
It's got to be
according to them.
It's got to be maybe possibly the artists too. Maybe they're kind of working on because if you look at different ages, it was always, at least for DC's perspective, is some type of heroes in crisis ended it. So from that was a big transitional point of comics. So possibly maybe I think I saw that they were looking at ending Batman in the 120s or something like that. So maybe something within the next few years. I mean, definitely within the next few years, we have to see a new era. At least I strongly believe that.
Right. Man, it's a tough giant sandwich, because it's a tough shit sandwich to take a bite out of, because you can't figure out which corner to dig into first, because it's just not defined very well. Here's the point. Golden Age, give or take, depending on what website you're looking at or what resource you're looking at, 18 years. Yeah. Silver Age, roughly 14 years. Bronze Age, roughly 15 years. Now, mind you, there are many other ages, and there's some subclasses that we're not going to dive into. So 18, 14, and 15 is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Modern Age, 35 years and running.
Yep. Wild.
Why? So I like the idea of the quote-unquote modern age being a sliding scale. Wherever we're currently at is the modern age. I kind of like that idea.
Right. That seems like that would always be modern within a span, right? Then you just cut it off. Cut it off to create something different. You know what I mean?
Which is why I feel a lot of the community and a lot of collectors have talked about there being a copper age.
Right. Yeah. That would make sense. Like that's something communal that everyone's talked about.
Yeah. So Vincent, man, pipe up, man. Where do you feel like that copper age begins and ends, if it?
All right. So serious talk. Copper age should be from basically 1985, 1988 to 2000. Just right there at the millennia. Just start it there. And then from everything on, consider modern. Mm-hmm. I think it would just be easier to do that. And that would allow better numerical, space to further break down the modern age for however they would end up wanting to do it like that. I think that would be probably the easiest and the neatest, cleanest way to do that. And that's just my opinion for it, because yeah. So
I like the copper age, and I feel like the general consensus of the community is the copper age is kind of what fits well as a bridge between that bronze age and that modern age. Justin, how do you feel about that?
I agree with it. It also poses a question of, you're still in the timeline of what is after modern, because we're getting these different covers, like I said, and I might have to just step away to go get those different covers. But, I spoke on it briefly of, we have these hard stock modern DC covers.
The cardstock covers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard, they're durable.
How dare they cost more?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that they do, but for the $1 more, I think it's worth it, because this is, right off the shelf. And then as is this Flash book, which is a beautiful cover, but I mean, it's already damaged before.
I almost got that yesterday.
Yeah,
It's a
I mean,
great cover.
beautiful. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I could not pass it up, but there's no
Agree.
way I'd send this to CGC because it's not even close to being a 9.0. You know, it's just, yes, it might cost a little bit more to make. You know, I'm not in charge of that, but I think as a consumer, I mean, even switching over to this, which it caught my eye, but this is a hard stock cover. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
cover, you know, and it's. I think we could easily see a postmodern diamond, steel, Titan, something along those sorts. I think it would make sense. I think it would look nice. And I think it's time. So yeah, I think the copper age definitely makes sense. But what's next for us as far as a community? And I think being as big as CGC is, I think that they could definitely run the flagship on that.
Well, you make a great point on that, which leads into something that I think Skeff is priming to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And when you involve something like CGC, there is a degree of money or a monetary value. How much would CGC have to change to add another era in there, Skeff? So please lead off with your thoughts on the Copper Age and what that might do to the industry.
Man, if they change it, the better be cheaper. Get these newer books graded. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
There better be
Dude,
like,
it's
bulk,
so expensive.
If there was like a bulk rate for like within the last 5 years the book came out, like send 50 for a bulk rate, I'm all down for that.
mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if CGC does decide to change and they want to break that gap from like 1975 to what considered is still 2020 a modern book, that would change the game. And if they are willing, like at the end of the day, it means more work for them. Like it's adding another tier. It's a whole new grading system. It's a whole new price point for us that we're now have to become affiliated with. And I think they kind of like, we will decide kind of like what we want to be between copper and modern and now. But if CGC decides to like, hey, we're getting in so many books within the past couple years between 2015 and 2000 now, like maybe we need to like change the way like we're getting, like, you know, they're getting a book from like, they're getting Thor 337 while getting a copy of Hell Arisen, you know what I mean? And they're both modern,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, are they really both modern? Like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
So I think if they decide to add a tier for breaking that 75 to like 2000, right? Like a 25-year gap for something, and then from 2000 till like whatever is the new modern, like I think that would change the price point and how we get books graded and what gets graded. And I think it would change a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Vincent, we touched on you, touched with Copper Age with your thoughts there, and Vincent, Justin, and Skeff, we went kind of around the horn there. I feel like people talk about the Copper Age as kind of a norm, but I don't feel like it's defined in many places. I think even in the Overstreet comic book price guide, they actually list Copper Age, top 10 Copper Age sales, I think.
Yeah.
And my copy is 10 years old. This is a 10-year-old copy that I'm referencing. And I think even 10 years ago, they were referencing Copper Age sales.
That's a great tool to have, by the way. I finally got one earlier this year.
It is. It really is. And what's really interesting is when you want to talk about introducing what should be the next age after bronze and where does it start, where does it end. There are many websites out there that talk about this. There's one in particular that I'm very interested in bringing up. Hopefully I didn't delete it or get rid of it. There is a website, Women Write About Comic Books, or womenwriteaboutcomics.com, and they do an article, and we referenced this on Modern Men on the Comic Core months and months ago when we talked about the different ages of comic books. This was written May 31st, 2018, and it's called The Many Ages of American Comic Books. And, you know, they go Golden Age, Silver Age, went out, but this is really interesting. They propose a thought process of 1985 to 2000, and they call it the Dark Age. They call it the Dark Age because in the DC Universe died.
Yeah.
Right?
I got something about that.
Please lead off with that, man. That's kind of where I was going.
Well, I pulled a book. I think I pulled the right one, but I could be wrong. But
Yep.
That's the Supergirl.
It's a good book. It's a good pull.
I'm pretty sure this is that defining moment that really starts to kind of like show the beginning of a new age and era. And I think this is in the right timeline. I'm pretty sure. But, you know, that's just that iconic cover, iconic story, and as well as, like the death of Superman a little bit earlier. So I think, it's okay to kill off characters. They're going to come back eventually anyways, right? So there's not really a loss as far as that goes. And actually, I just had a good thought here. So you know how Miles Morales is starting to get real big, right?
Oh, yeah.
What?
So this would be the perfect time to officially kill off Peter Parker and then start Miles Morales as modern age and just move on from there.
Yeah.
Like, that would be pretty sweet right now, right?
Yeah.
And it would kind of end up working along with, how the world is changing outside of comics right now with, a lot of the social stuff that's going on in the world and applying it within the comics, just like how comics took from all that into the real world to show what's going on, so that's literally, I just thought about that idea off the top of my head. But yeah, I think those two books are just the defining moments to show like the end of that Bronze Age, where it's like you said, Andy, the Dark Age is where they wrote about, because like you have these characters that just died, right? So it makes sense that they would call it the Dark Age. That's kind of grim a little bit, but it kind of fits. But yeah.
Here's a comment that I'll challenge all day long moving forward coming up. StreamYard's a little slow. 3, 2, 1. Come on, StreamYard. There it is. Yeah, but Peter Parker sells a shit ton more books than Miles Morales. That is changing. That will change. Guaranteed.
Fast or takes time? What do you think?
Oh, no, it's going to take time. It's
Yeah.
going to take time because you think about it, all of the Peter Parker fans aren't just going to die off next week, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And those of us that are kind of in this middle age group where we're fans of Peter Parker and we're also fans of Miles Morales, we're going to support both to an extent, to a degree.
Right. Yeah.
So it's going to take time, but yeah, Miles Morales is the Spider-Man for this generation that's growing up.
Here's another one though, and this is directly tied to you, Justin. Is Barry Allen? Yeah, he's the Flash, but Wally West is the Flash. Like he has been defined faster than the Flash. Like he's the fastest Flash.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're going off of that, then that just goes to show that that's already changing within that character that you love so much too.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. It's a great question because, or not even a question, just more of along the lines of a statement, is that we saw the transition between Jay Garrick and Barry Allen. Barry Allen, excuse me. But Wally West, very similar to like a Batman and Robin type situation. Wally was thrusted into that character. He never got to be his own version of the Flash.
He's like Dick Grayson.
Yeah, exactly. So it poses a question of the Flash race war, as far as Wally has shown his dominance, so to speak, of becoming the fastest Flash. So I think I've been talking about this on the channel. The Flash right now for comics is a little bit, it's kind of like a little bit of a flat line for me, because I've seen so many different things of Flash comics. Now I'm working on the first volume of the Golden Age Flash. I own all of volume 2, 3, 4, and then current. So what is next for the Flash? I think that as far as comics and everything goes, even modern age, Flash needs to have a separation between Wally and Barry. And I want to do a video on this. It's just I don't know which way to really go. Of Wally never got his own identity as Flash. And I think once that they figure that out, not necessarily maybe a new name or just something, or a character redesign, something along the lines of that, I think once they figure that out, it would add like a wonderful dynamic for not only the show but comics in general, because Wally never got his own the Flash. He's always been Barry Allen's Flash.
But didn't he like kind of become his own once he got taken out of the Speed Force, when he like went in and died?
Yeah, the Flash Forward. He's on the Mobius chair now. I can't tell not if that's canon or not. So I'm waiting to see. because I really liked the Flash Forward little 6-book mini episode, mini series of, he got to conquer his demons, he's got his kids back, stuff like that. So if they bring that in lines with the Flash, which I mean, I guess they kind of did on a couple books, but if they really make that canon and make him the owner of the Mobius chair or one with it, then I'll be very happy. I thought that would, I really agreed with the route that they went. But yeah, that's just my little take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems a little undefined, much like the modern age.
Yeah.
So another interesting thought or question that comes to mind. Have you guys heard of other proposed ideas or definitions for ages within that gap between modern or bronze and modern now, or within this 35? I can't believe it's 35 years still for modern age. I've heard such things as Diamond Age. I've heard Steel Age. Yeah. I've heard, Dark Age. We just talked about a little bit. What have you guys heard other people talking about?
Retailer incentive age.
Incentive age? Ooh.
Yeah. Variant age.
Variant. Store exclusive variant age.
Oh, God.
That's true.
Wow.
Torpedo Comics isn't in here right now, are they?
I mean, you're not wrong. Variant age. Yeah, Chris brings that up. I've heard some people toss around the thought or idea of a quote unquote movie age.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well.
To start what? I mean, that'd be hard, right? Like, when would we start that?
Dark
Would
Knight.
Would it start with Amazing Spider-Man, or would it start with Iron Man?
Or would it start in the 80s with the first Batman movie?
Well, then we're back with modern age.
I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you hit something on there. I think if they wanted to do movie age, it should start in a line with the MCU. I think that would be a really good defining spot in history, and it would really tie in that generation of people, that the younger little generation of people, so they can start to see where that all comes around. But what they're going to do is they're still going to go out and look for that Infinity Gauntlet #1, which is way the heck over there. I can't go get it right now, but that's a big key Bronze Age book. But like, that would be a defining moment. But what would that Iron Man #1 comic book be to show the movie age? Like, where would we put that? But I think that could fit. That might make pretty good sense.
Yeah. Well, right. When we talk about like the movie age, one cover that strikes me as the cover of covers for a movie age is that Avengers, is it 14, where Iron Man is wearing the Infinity Gauntlet on the cover with the red and that red background. What is that?
Yes.
Avengers Volume 4.
Yeah, we were on the Gauntlet, right?
Yeah, that's the first cover appearance of Tony Stark or Iron Man wearing the gauntlet, right?
Right.
Okay.
That book went from being a fairly inexpensive book to a $50-ish book, roughly, when the movie came out.
Yes,
I think. And it's go ahead.
I actually just picked up the Tony Stark holding the gauntlet pop. We actually just picked that up like a few weeks ago.
Nice. and I wish, and you know what the funny thing is about that cover? Yes, thank you, right one. There. It is not only is it a striking, gorgeous cover, in my opinion, it is a cover.
It's 12, yeah.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so volume 4, number 12, or volume 5, number 12. I have a tough time. Not only is that one hard to search for online because of all the different volumes of Avengers, when you do figure out what you're searching for, that book is actually doesn't show up online as much as I would think it would.
It's older. It's a little bit older. Back when, like,
20. Oof, I can't remember. 2012? I don't know.
I think so.
But the book doesn't come up as easily online as I thought it would, and it had spiked to like a $50-ish price range, plus or minus 20 some odd bucks or something like that. I think it regularly sells still for around that $30 to $50 price range, depending on the grade. And good luck finding a 9.8 candidate, because I have been searching for a year.
I think that one is.
I found
that. I was about to say, if you want a 9.8, you better talk to him, because he's the only one that ends up getting all these damn 9.8 karate chops. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I've looked it up and down like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that copy. Like 2011. But yeah.
Okay, 2011.
But yes, but that's the time where like maybe I don't know, like Iron Man came out in 08. Like I don't know, it's still harder, a much harder book I think to come by. Then I feel like the comic book industry has like exploded within the past like 4 years compared to like back in 08, 09, 010, 11, maybe like everything comic book. Like I don't remember any any store exclusive covers in 2011. You know what I mean? Like just like online. You know what I mean? Like that was just not a thing. I don't think back then.
Yeah, they didn't really
9
have
years
store
ago.
exclusives. They had mail away exclusives,
Right.
back then. Like remember the Image where you could collect all the covers and mail away the coupons to get that Image 0, I think it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a thing. But Movie Age, Dark Age, Chrome Age, Diamond Age,
Donny Cates Age.
Steel Age,
Yes.
Donny
Donny
Cates
Cates
Age.
Age.
Oh my.
how bad you want that
Age.
Thor 5, Skeff? How bad you want that Thor 5?
I mean, pretty bad.
I got
A Sir Cates Age would be a fun one. He's taking everything by storm right now.
Man, so I still kind of like the idea of the modern age kind of being a floating annotation.
There it is. It's a nice book.
Ooh.
It's a pretty book.
It literally picked it up and stuck it in a bag. I didn't even open it, didn't even read it.
Oh, dude, it's a great read. You got to read it. It's wonderful.
Well,
really
I
good.
know the story. I've been, keeping up with it, but like I didn't like read the actual book. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, according like Justin, what Justin said earlier, when you mentioned like the artist, like maybe like a writer's age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
that
true.
could be something too.
Yeah.
But that would still end up getting broken down within the comic book age, because if you try to do that, well then where's Chris Claremont fall under that?
He falls under that Silver Age, right?
Yeah, so he'd be Silver Age all the way through to Bronze Age, pretty much.
Absolutely.
For like a good portion of it. So
modern too.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. Like it would be nice to be able to do that, but like what would actually be a real cool way to show like with the writers and with the age is those line graphs, like when you go to Wikipedia and like you're looking up band information and then you scroll down to the bottom and then it shows the band members and then it shows the timeline in which they were all a part of it and when they left and came back.
Yeah.
They should do something like that off of CGC to show a better, tracking to show where those ages would be. And then that way they could actually, like we're discussing, pinpoint where there should be a breakdown of the Bronze Age. And you have that graph to show everything like that. I think that would be cool. And you put the writers on there too. But yeah, idea. It is Donny Cates right now. My man, Donny Cates. Man, I had the opportunity to try and go see him last year before all the COVID stuff going down, but I was unable to make the trip to do that because I wanted to get my Venom #3 signed so bad. Man, rip.
Don't smile too hard, Skeff. You talk about Venom 3s and signatures. It's a good time too. So I mean, regardless of what we want to fit in there, copper, silver, or copper, steel, diamond, whatever, modern or the movie era, the dark age. Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about really that some people have brought up is what about a digital age? I'm curious on how you guys feel about the idea of a digital age.
When did the code start hitting books? When did that happen? Do we know?
That's a good question.
That could just be the thing.
To wiki.
Like, when was the first digital code in a comic?
Yeah. Probably.
I don't even know. I mean,
early 2000s.
No.
How many people were on the dark web doing codes and putting that up there? Like, I don't know if there's any way to really see how that goes, but I feel like the more digital age we end up getting into, the less actual hard copies we're going to be seeing, and then that's just going to be the ultimate fall of comic books, physical comic books.
I don't think so.
It'll be a long time.
I think at the end of the day, as much as we don't think it to be true, the comic book industry cares about the secondary market. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that is part of the reason I think the comic book industry can stick around. Because if there is no secondary market, then sure, everything goes to digital. Because at that point, why do you care about a physical copy?
Right.
But I think the secondary market, I think comic book industry cares about how well the secondary market is doing. That's why they keep making physical books.
Well, look at physical copies of the Golden Age and Silver Age and how they appreciate, and how similar collecting comic books is to collecting stocks, so to speak. Some people are really good at buying stocks low and selling high, and some people are really good at buying stocks low and never selling them. And some people like me are really good at buying stocks high and letting go of things. I mean, there's a lot of similarities to investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there can be. You can attach that to comics. I mean, at the end of the day, you can if you want to. Yes.
And because of that, I don't feel like we'll ever lose sight of a physical printed copy of a comic book. Really neat experiment here that I've been doing with Monday's Modern Men is it's a weekly read every Monday on the Comic Core Modern Men. You think first thought is like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be easy. I'll just go to my LCS and I'll pick up whatever we're reading.
Yeah.
Well, they're sold out, or that book's out of print, or this isn't available. That isn't available. Okay, I got to read digital. Well, I can make this happen. $15 a month, unlimited Comixology, or 13 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This is great. After a while, reading comic books digitally is terrible.
It does. Yeah.
How many comic books?
Yeah.
How many comic books are done in a physical aspect that have you either have to spin the book or the 2-page spread or the other things that there's many things that get lost in translation with the digital comic book, where I've been reading books digitally for a solid 2 months out of a convenience factor. And I gotta say, I made sure that my next 2 or 3 reads, I'm going to have physical copies on me, because it just doesn't, there's a lot of things that are lost in translations with digital, where digital is a convenience, but I don't know that we're ever going to get a true digital age. I think the way physical comic books are, the way they're valued from Victorian era, Golden Age, all the way back to Golden Age to Silver to where we're at now, I think the physical comic books themselves and what they're valued at and the way we collect and the way we enjoy that print media, I think comic books are actually going to save print media over time and keep it alive.
You might be right. You might be right about that, because if the digital age is where it's at, or wherever that should have been at, let's think about this here. The Kindle, Amazon, the Kindle. Okay.
What?
The Kindle. So if Amazon, since they're the biggest company in the world and they're getting their little fingers in everywhere, all right, if that was in the iPad, all right, they coincide together, right? Okay. So digital comics would have blown up way more if that market actually would have been capitalized on. And then I think we would have actually seen a dip pretty significantly in physical comics. But I think for the majority of the comic book community and people collecting comics, because you want to have an actual sustainable, tangible value, right? So gold and silver, or anything else. And I'm not talking about hoarders. We're not hoarders. We're collectors, right?
Yes.
So yeah, big difference. So I really don't. I truly don't think that comics are ever going to go away, because the actual collectability from the art, it's literal art that we're holding on to. It amazes me with the amount of stuff that you see on Instagram. So I don't know if you guys follow Nerdy Girl on Instagram. Dude, she just posted a Superman #1 at a 1.0. She's about to sell or whatever. I don't know how the hell she'd be getting these books. I don't know. It just blows my mind. But it's pieces of art. They're not going to disappear unless somebody burns them, right? So
they're
exactly. And that's one of the things for me that I've started really getting into is I'm looking for key books first appearances, second appearances, third appearances, classic covers, because I'm not trying to overload my filing cabinet with a whole bunch of modern books that are just going to lose value within 2 years, 3 years, until something else comes around because of that and influences it to jump back into it. But that's where the digital stuff comes into play, and trade paperbacks comes into play. Because like, if you want to actually have the full story and you're like me and I'm not going to pay to get an iPad or a Kindle, I'll just try to look for, the book on readcomicsonline.com and read it off of there, or buy the trade paperback. But yeah, I think digital, if it was actually going to make the physical comic book market crash, it would have done it during that time where all that started blowing up and everything started going to digital.
Hold on to that book in just a minute. Justin, go ahead.
Basic. Which one are we touching on?
Just digital books in
Just
general
digital?
and your experiences. Yeah.
We talked about this like a couple days ago too. It's just like as long as you can hold a physical book, I think, especially, it takes all the fun out of, I think it's hard not to look at comics too, and just a tiny bit of like, man, this is going to be worth something one day. So like, imagine if you hold on to that aspect as you're holding, like, picking up this new book or a first appearance or something like that. Like, some people only buy comics just to read, flip, or read, flip, slab, and flip. It can go any which way. Some people love that salesman aspect of it. So, at least I hope we never see the loss of physical comics. Just especially, while they're making like covers, I'll bring it up again, but while they're making covers like this, like, that's awesome, man. Like, this wasn't around a couple years ago. Like, this, now that they're at this level, it's insane, so I think that they're really just touching on, like, the tip of the icebergs of what they can do, especially with that Batman and Flash, those fluorescent covers where, there's, I can't remember the exact word for it, but I'll have to bring those up one day and show those. But as long as they're making, comics like that, I think we'll be safe.
Right. And here's a really good comment from William. And I understand his concern, like, with comic books becoming like vinyl records. It's a small specialty market. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, William, I love your opinion. I love your comment, but I'm going to disagree with it right here, because vinyls are hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vinyls are hot. They sound amazing. I know one of my best friends, Kurt, spent $1,000 on a setup just to play vinyls at his house. He's a single bachelor that has that opportunity to do that. And vinyl records sound stunning with the right equipment. There's a resurgence for a reason.
Yeah.
And
I don't get it.
There are breweries the small batch breweries that play just specifically vinyl records because they sound so amazing. But I think there's innovation more so in comic book industry, whereas vinyls are vinyls. The music going on the vinyls can innovate, but the vinyls themselves don't have the ability to innovate, much like comic books with cardstock covers, lenticular covers, a lot of the other things, a lot of other nuances.
Nice flashbook.
Yeah.
What year is that?
I apologize.
Hold that up, man.
I think this one's 2017. I was gonna say 2018.
Is that the lenticular cover you and I were talking about?
Yeah. And this is a cover of. Let me get my screen a little bit better here. Do brighter.
Yes.
So you have that cover of they're throwing homage to the #1 Flash,
Right.
like, long time ago. But I mean, you have that artwork there, and I mean, this is 9.8, doesn't get much better than that. Like, as soon as I bought this, I touched it, read it once, and then locked it up. So as a Flash collector, that's something that you can't let go. I mean, if they're able to do that, so I will have to agree with you as well, Andy. My dad and I, we love going to a local local vinyl shop. And, it's a little bit more expensive to collect vinyl, but once you can really get that needle and just drop it on the album there, it doesn't get much better. I mean, yes, look at how long vinyl took to become obsolete, and look where it is now. So it had its run CD, MP3, MP4, digital, and here we are just Bluetooth, airdropping, AirPods, different things like that, and then it coming back. So even if comics do somehow run out, let's just say they run out of paper, imagine what comics are going to be worth when that time does come through. So that within itself is exciting to think about, but I don't think that we'll run out of comics anytime soon, especially with them only getting to this level at 2017, 3 years, and they're still making just awesome. And this, I bought this cover, I think $3 or $4. This is around just the paper alone, not slabbed. It's $20 to $40.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at it from this standpoint as well, with comic books and physical paper copies and whatnot. We're talking about a drove of us as collectors that budget weekly, 4 times a month to go into a store and spend as little as $10 and as much as $100 a week. Thousands of us do that, whether we order online and have it shipped, or whether we have the ability to go into a store. That's a lot of fucking support. That's a lot of financial support. How many people are budgeting weekly to buy vinyls?
True. I mean,
you know what I mean? And vinyls, look at the resurgence that vinyls have made, which is why I don't feel like physical comic books are going anywhere. I feel like digital comic books have their place and they have a foothold, and they're going to continue to have that foothold for a convenience factor. But I don't think digital is ever going to take over. Skeff, what do you feel, man?
Well, I know nothing about vinyl, so I can't really throw my hat into that pile. I can appreciate people appreciating vinyls for the feel you get of the vinyl. You know what I mean? Like the work you put into it, things like that. But the concept of I don't think we really need to worry about comics being replaced by digital books. I feel that this. I mean, granted, everyone always feels at the moment of time like they're modern, their era, their last 4 or 5 years, like the hottest selling, or like the most I've seen people buy books. And I feel like this is the most I've seen people buy books in the past couple of years than I've ever seen before. Whether it be online, through online exclusive, through store, through shops, I just feel like people are just buying comics. Even during the whole paying the whole thing where we all had to stay home, I feel people are buying more books than ever. I feel like just the concept of this quote unquote now modern era, I feel that people are buying more books than they ever have, and I think we now have access to how many different titles come out each week. You know what I mean? There's 20 different titles each week, and there's more than that. And so it's just I think the opportunity to see more books.
I think
more books are being
digitally,
printed.
just to chime in, digitally, I think it's great to read manga. If you're a big manga reader like Attack on Titan, or back in the day when Naruto was everything, I don't know. It's still hard because just flipping through a manga was a lot of fun for me. But I think digitally manga is that focus right now, and then comics is still hey, gotta go pick up a book. So
yeah, you think comic books? You think the comic book industry puts out a lot of content? Try to keep up with the manga industry.
We're the hundreds of Naruto books,
double if not triple the content that comes out. That's why when I was growing up, I wanted to get into it and read it. I ended up just watching it and ended up not being a reader because I couldn't keep up with how much content they had out there. Go ahead, Vincent.
On the manga thing, that is so true. That whole genre and community of people with the whole manga thing is insane. Also, you got to think how many people are over there doing that, compared to the United States, just the sheer number of people involved in that is obviously going to be a lot bigger. But you look at Baki, the grappler, right? Okay, so I knew nothing about that. I watched all the Netflix stuff that they did on there, but that's one of the longest running titles apparently, and the dude gets a lot of bad rap for how just terrible his writing is, and just overall, but it's great. I really enjoyed it, but that's just a huge title run. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, huge long title run for manga. And
Berserk, the manga Berserk from Dark Horse. That manga has been running for a long time. It's super good.
I feel like I need to get in that.
Berserk is wonderful. That's probably my favorite manga I've read. But that's just
I need to look into that. And the person that I've been watching that's like big into the manga, the Berserk manga, is Gem Mint. You know, you guys see his statues that he's purchased from that, and it's like that actually looks sick. Like that looks real cool.
Dude, the Berserk manga is the most brutal thing you could ever read. But you know,
he has a Flash statue. I have to get one day.
But don't they have an actual comic run of it?
They had a small one, but the manga's the way to go. And then watching the anime from like 1997 is the best one to watch.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. So hey, you wanted me to hold on to this book, Andy? What do you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
The second Deadpool.
You know, is that a reprint? I can't tell.
This should not be a reprint. This should be the original. The shop I got it from, Titan Comics here in Dallas. I think I picked this up for like $8, maybe. I don't remember.
Right.
But it is clean AF, yo. Like,
and it's a newsstand copy, isn't it?
No, this is like his. I know my camera is just terrible today. I don't know what's up, but this is just his like store UPC that he uses to scan all this stuff.
So it's not. That's a book I like to use for a comparison. That's still considered a modern, but when it came out, 91. Give or take a little bit. I can't remember the exact year. It had a heavy print run.
Yep. Well, everything in the 90s did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of hate. That seems like very hatey over there. Look at that face.
It's a fact. A lot of stuff had a lot of print runs in the 90s.
You know, this book actually doesn't look like you said. Yeah, it's a Rob Liefeld cover and stuff, but it's not that bad. Like, it actually looks really good. The muscles and the drawing of the characters is not gross.
Well, it's a book that's got kind of a trifecta. It's got a mostly black cover. It's got a second appearance of Deadpool. It's got the first appearance of Gil Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that correctly? It's got a bit of a trifecta there. But then if you find a newsstand cover that's a 9/8 candidate, there's your golden ticket. Yeah. Now there's a massive print run. It's still considered a modern book. But should it be? Is the question that I was asking myself. Should it still be considered a modern book? And that book is almost 30 years old.
Probably in that copper time range.
Well, here's another one.
Yep.
Omega Red.
Yeah.
You know, do you consider this like, is this copper, or would you consider this that modern age? You know?
Yeah.
It's
a hard one.
It's probably honestly, I would say Omega Red is the biggest increase of speculation from anything, in my opinion. And it's like Moon Knight. Like, you could almost compare Omega Red's allure and popularity as being a really awesome villain and just real unique to like Moon Knight and the allure, that he's just like very like a culty kind of sort of thing. Because I remember playing, you know, Capcom versus Marvel, and I'm like, I want to play Omega Red because I want to see his tentacles all whippy and stuff like that. Like, that looks real hella cool. So, you know, like,
do that one more time. I'm just kidding.
You know, he just like, it's just that real cool character. And, you know, I don't know if my book would be considered a 9.8. I might need to send it to Skeff to take a look at it. But, you know, I think both of those books, you know, the Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, all those guys, that actually might even be a better way to really help determine the modern age. Maybe whenever all the guys from Marvel split and started Image, you know,
there you go.
Like,
Image
do that
comics,
Image Age, all that kind of stuff. So
independent,
but yeah. So look what I got, guys.
Ooh, yeah. If you don't mind taking a moment to prepare that, and while you prepare that to show, you got a quick unboxing. Let me take a moment to bring up the fact that we're going to close out the Monday Modern Men vote for 2 weeks from now. This next Monday, we're reading Y the Last Man, the first volume. That's set. We're doing that. That wasn't voted on. We were doing it. The Comic Core is revisiting that with some new faces, and we're going to read that. But 2 weeks from now, there's a vote going on. We're closing that vote out tonight. So here's your opportunity for the 17 people that are watching. If you haven't voted, go to the Comic Core community tab and vote on what we're going to read, because I'm going to close it out here in about, we'll say a minute while he unboxes this. So let me pull up this tab. Let me get there. And there's actually some really cool stuff. This vote that's happening, we're going to read the first 2 trade paperbacks of each of those that are on the vote, because we've got 2 weeks to prepare. So we got a little bit more time. And I'm going to go right to the Comic Core channel here in just a moment. And I'll share my screen here with all of the gazillion tabs I have going on right now.
Yeah.
Comic Core community tab right here. If you can
Make
get
sure you keep that
ahead of me and get your vote in. So we currently have 54 votes for what Modern Men will be reading for week 41. So that's not this upcoming Monday. That's the Monday after. And Invincible by Robert Kirkman is a landslide. So no matter how much everybody votes tonight, Invincible is definitely going to win. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out really quick, because unless we're going to get 100 votes, it's not going to change. So here we go. I can type.
What?
Okay, so Invincible by Robert Kirkman wins.
Yay!
So we're gonna read the volume 1 and volume 2 of the trade paperbacks on week 41. So that'll be another week from this upcoming Monday. So 2 weeks from this past Monday. We're gonna read Invincible. Now that's hit the poll at least once or twice, and we haven't read it. It hasn't won. So I'm actually excited to read this, because it's one of the bigger stories that has come out of Robert Kirkman and Image, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty sure. Skeff, you got Invincible #1 over there from a Mystery Mail Call, didn't you?
Oh, that's right.
I did indeed. I was the luckiest thing I've ever pulled. That was epic. It's a hard book to find. It came out in like
real low print run.
Yeah, it came out I think it came out in 2002, and it was like Image, so not that many, and just Invincible about other superheroes. They're like but it's just like it's Kirkman just at his best. He's just really good at it. But Invincible's a great read. It's a great modern book to read, in my humble opinion, and it's a hard book to find. It's a super hard. You just don't see Invincible #1 hanging out on people's walls at shows. Mm-hmm. Just not a thing.
Nope.
Right.
Thanks, Nerdy Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, DNP. So before Vincent goes into his quick unboxing here, Downright Nerdy Podcast just did a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. The monetization and all the super chats for the Comic Core channel do go directly to the Hero Initiative and support the Hero Initiative.
That's awesome.
So once again, take a moment here, everybody watching. If you don't already know what the Hero Initiative is, or you don't already have the internet address saved and bookmarked, go down to the comments section below, or the description below, expand that, and look down there and find the Hero Initiative tab and see what they have to offer. If you can't support the Hero Initiative at this time, you can still support them by sharing the information and bringing awareness to the cause. Now, the Hero Initiative supports all the writers and the content creators for comic books in their times of need. When things are at their worst or in a dire position, they can contact the Hero Initiative for assistance. So you'd be surprised. Some amazing creators and content creators that we adore as far as art and as far as writing have been in those situations and have needed that help. And people that donate, that money helps. The Hero Initiative does help. It's an amazing cause. So please take the time to at least look them up and share that information if you can. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, DNP, for the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate it. That'll go to the Hero Initiative.
That's awesome.
So Vincent, man, you have an unboxing of modern books, right?
That will almost be up for debate, I guess.
Let's do this.
We'll see here. So, I got 2 books, and this is actually I'm finally completing a set with these 2 books. So that's kind of a big deal. And I'll just show it. So here we go.
Nice.
Number 3 of that Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller. There's a lot of spine bend on the back to show that this was definitely a read. But at this point, like, I'm getting the book so I can finish the run. So, like, if I want to turn around and sell it, I can do a whole set. But I got this, I think both of these books for pretty cheap. But I didn't realize that there was, like, such a spine bend along the side. On the
Where'd
back,
you
you can really see it. I got this off of eBay.
That's hard. It's hard to tell. Like, if they don't take good pictures, or if the pictures are
Yeah.
bad angles, it's hard to tell with the creases and things like that.
And as far as I can tell, these should be the first print. This should be the first print. I don't see anything on here that says otherwise, but it should be the first one. It's like that faded, like the book. First print is kind of faded. The second print is darker. Like overall is darker, I think.
Nice book.
So there's that one, and then the fourth one I picked up. This is actually real clean. It does not have the same spine tick and damage on the back.
Yay.
You know, it's real nice. That black on the front is super clean. All the black along the side and the spine and all that kind of stuff. It looks real good. There's like a nice little chip up here in the corner, unfortunately, on the back where you can really see it. A little bit down here in the corner. So I don't know if that's just from the original, the printer, hopefully. We can hope for the best, right, Skeff? Like,
yes.
Let's hope you pick something up and you look at it and you're like, oh, that could be print error. Let's hope that they do it like that, but I don't know. This is pretty chunky.
Always be positive and hope for the best.
And always pre-screen.
But yeah.
Yeah,
so,
always pre-screen.
So I got these suckers off of eBay. I think I paid $20 for both of them.
Dude, that's a great deal.
I paid $20 for both 3 and 4 first
That's
prints.
a really good deal.
And man, I am all about trying to find the deals on eBay. So I don't know if you guys actually saw my latest video. This is kind of an eBay horror story too, as well.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
So I got this sucker in. Okay, you should all be hella jelly because this is.
Oh wow,
that's a nice
Green
book.
Lantern 59.
It's a nice book.
4.0, and
what were the grader notes on it?
No. I bought this off of eBay.
Yeah, what were the grader notes?
It should be at the top.
You should be able to. I was curious. Going to CGC, put the serial number in, maybe.
Oh, I haven't done that, so I don't know.
Okay.
But the book is real clean. It looks nice. Both staples intact. But the horror story about the eBay delivery. So, oh Lord, when I picked up the box out of the parcel drop off, dude, it was just like smashed and bashed, and like there was a big enough hole I could stick my finger in, and I sent a scathing message back to the eBay seller because like it was just bad. I haven't gotten a response back yet. So
is the case good?
Case is good. I don't really see
was there any
anything
bubble wrap
majorly
in there?
damaged. There was one sheet of bubble wrap.
I'm like, I didn't see you pull out the bubble wrap when you did the video. I'm like, was there bubble wrap?
No, I pulled out the bubble wrap. Wrap. Like it was like they shoved it in this. They like taped it up, shoved it in there, and taped it over, and that was it.
That seems
like there was
safe.
Yeah, I literally could shake the box and feel it inside the box moving around. But these books came in a normal, comic book folder,
Nice.
delivery folder. And thankfully the UPS guy realized that he couldn't just shove this in my tiny ass little, box. He put it in a parcel drop off. So that was good. But
that's awesome.
And getting those graded comics are great. And Skeff is the only one that knows what books I sent to CGC And when that box drops and I make that video, it is going to be epic. I've got great books.
Yeah, you got to let me know. I'm pumped to see that one.
And
I'm pumped to see that.
I don't care what grades they come back as, because those are all PCs.
You care a little bit.
Sure.
A little.
Almost just
don't
said
do
one of the books.
Don't say
almost said one of the books, but like it is a modern book. If it doesn't come back at a 9.8, I'll slightly be disappointed, but I don't see it anything less than like a 9.6, lowest 9.4. But if it comes back at a 9.8, I'll be super thrilled, and I'll do the karate chop.
Karate chop.
Awesome.
I'm gonna get a 9 or a 10 one day. I know it. I can feel it.
Nice,
dude.
Yeah,
Very Gary did he did a pre-screen unveil, and he got a 9.9.
That's awesome.
In one of those, and I was just like, how the hell
was it square bound? Was it square bound?
No, I don't think it was a square bound book.
If you want to try to get a 9.9 or a 10.0, submit a square bound book. Those are your best odds of getting a 9.9 or a 10.0, honestly. Like that Walking Dead 193, or like any of the Batman Dams, or those what was it? What was that Batman, like Last Night on Earth? Like that one, like any of the square bound books. If you want a 9.9 or a 10.0, like those are your best bets. Like I have a Batman Dam that's a 9.9 because it's square bound. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah, square bounds are your best bets if you want a 9.9.
I want to send mine because I have the Damned 1, 2, and 3.
Send them.
Yeah, it really was.
It's a good modern book.
It is. It's a good modern book, and that's
the censored era right there, right?
Yeah. So
I got rid of my Batman Dam 2 and 3 because I needed to make space and buy other books that I really wanted. So, but if I come across the Batman Dam #1 first print where you get to see,
the Wang,
the eggplant,
little Bruce Wang, then maybe I would get that slot, because that's a piece of art, modern era that's like real defining, So, but
the fact that they did that, and
there you go.
That's nice.
There's a 9.9.
Who signed it?
9.9. Yep.
Oh, and it's signed.
Yeah. Well, hey, we started this conversation with the modern era, and we close this conversation out with a great modern book. We've breached that hour mark a little bit ago, so this is a great spot to close out this conversation, close out this episode for now, because we can always return and we can always come back and do another deep dive in the modern era. So let's close this out really quick, and let's spend some time and go around the horn. Justin Comics, where can people find you on social media, and what do you have coming up next, man?
I was getting really, really, really involved in social media and stuff like that, so I decided to pull myself off Facebook and Twitter for not necessarily indefinitely, but I just use Instagram and the YouTube channel for right now. I think those are very user friendly, very not necessarily safe, but like easy to use, and you can't really get too addicted and like just too involved with. So I really like those platforms. You can always reach me at that if you have any questions or just want to chat or just talk comics. I love it. That's why I joined this community, just because I wanted to meet others like myself and just talk about comics, and just how much fun that is, knowing that I met Andy and Skeff and now Vincent. It's very nice to meet you guys, and just we can sit here and talk for a little over an hour about comics. Like, where else anywhere can you do that? Like, I can't just hop on Facebook and just meet new people and talk about comics. There's no such thing. At least I don't know about. Yeah, so it's just I that's why I made my channel. I love comics. I love growing with new people and just sharing that passion. So if you want to watch my channel and join that with me, then I can't be anything other than grateful. So that's where you can find me.
Yep, awesome.
And I appreciate it.
You be you, and everybody that is interested in that will come and subscribe, and they'll continue watching your content, man.
Thank you.
Skeff, man, I know where I can find you. Where can all of these lovely guests find you?
They can find me in the YouTube universe, where you can find me. I'm also on Instagram. I'm not very good at it, but I'm there, and I post other things. I'm very bad at Instagram. I am that old person where I'm like, this is a photo, right, kid? Click. I don't tag.
Takes like 12 hours to get a response.
It's just there to post things. But I'm on YouTube. I have a lot of videos. I do a lot of CGC unboxing, just a lot of unboxings. And I have a new thing that I'll be doing that I'll be sending out this week. I have gonna be, look at these. These are Pokemon cards.
Oh, dude, this is cool. I'm excited for this adventure.
Where are these gonna be going?
Oh no.
CGC. And wait, I have Pokemon cards, right? So we're gonna go ahead and just show you. We have Pokemon cards here.
Wow.
That we'll be sending in. I'll be doing a 50 card bulk submission. And I have these are cards from like my childhood, so I'm like, I don't know what their grades are, but we're gonna send them to find out what this is.
Do they have those broken up by eras?
What?
Do they have those broken up by eras, like ages and stuff? No. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, they're just all like old cards. But yeah, that's gonna be a Pokemon CGC unboxing video.
That's gonna be cool.
So,
will they take my Pogs, man?
Absolutely not.
Will they? Let's grade my Pogs. All right.
We can grade. I will grade them for you. You send them to me. I'll give you Skeff's Comic Knowledge Approval PSA Gem Mint 10.5s.
Nice.
10.5s. But that's what I got coming up. It's just Pokemon grading. I got a couple CGC boxes. But just some more fun content, some more fun ideas I got coming out.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
So everybody in the chat know that the names and their titles there, Justin Comics, Skeff's Comic Knowledge, Vincent McLean, those are their YouTube names. You can search from there. Please take a moment and go down into the description. All of the links and all of the information are down there. So moving forward, Vincent McLean, the comic machine, buddy.
The machine.
Where can people find you and what do you have going on?
All right, so I am on all of the platforms, but primarily Facebook, Instagram. I really typically just share my video updates when I'm going to drop, when I drop them on Facebook. I'm on a couple of groups on Facebook just to kind of help try to get more out there a little bit. But typically I get most messages from Instagram and stuff like that. Should be no, I think it's different. I think my Instagram handle is SpongeBeard square beard or something like that. Yeah,
it's SpongeBob like service square or something like that.
I like it.
Yeah, let me double check on that here real quick because it is different, and I blame my wife for that, but that's okay because it's really funny. So my Instagram handle is SpongeBeard Square Vince. That's what it is on Instagram.
It's creative.
There's going to be more books and stuff on there, and just like my daily life. I actually really haven't been posting like a lot of like myself or like the books and stuff. It's just been like YouTube videos dropping. Here, click, go, do all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So I need to get a little bit better on actually posting books and stuff like that in just regular life. But you guys are very welcome to send me a message on there. I probably try to talk to Skeff most out of anybody here, yet it takes him 12 hours to respond back. That's okay.
I'm a busy guy. I'm a busy guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a thought that counts, right? But I'm always there to answer any questions.
Yeah, he's there. And Twitter is more for personal use. Twitter's very adult, so just keep an eye out on there. But I will share updates on there just to kind of put it out there. But I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook, of course, YouTube. I'm starting to try to actually really catch up to Skeff since we kind of started around the same time, but he just capitalized on the market.
You got this. You're triple digits now.
I am triple digits. I am like 103. I'm 103 subscribers, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. But
it'll be 403 after this.
Probably,
awesome.
Hopefully. But
so congratulations on hitting that 100 mark, man.
That's the hardest one.
That's a big number.
The hardest one.
That really is.
Like Justin, I'm telling you, bro. Like you're doing it. You're doing it right.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. The grind.
And out of all of us here right now, my video quality is the worst. But you know what? My YouTube videos look amazeballs.
They do.
So,
your YouTube videos do look wonderful. Angles great. Backdrops great.
They're starting to look really good. It's funny because I don't know if you guys follow Journo's comics. Do you guys watch him? Okay, so you notice that he's starting to try and up his video game as
quality?
well.
Not holding the phone.
Yeah, so he's really trying to step it up, but he ain't got his lighting down right. So I sent him some YouTube videos. Be like, hey, here, check it out. So he subscribed to me, which is really kind of cool. So. You know, I'm trying to be cinematic. I want my videos to be more cinematic. I need to figure out how to do a really cool B-roll of like my whole setup with my filing cabinet and like be like, oh,
not a bad idea.
you know, but I hadn't quite figured out how to do that. But yeah, I like to do hauls, comic hauls. I'm not huge into unboxing because I get too excited and I want to open the box and look at the book. So I'll do more hauls type of videos. There's been a couple of videos where I've done where are kind of like in depth. Let's talk about like Swamp Thing. That was like one of my big ones that I did.
Yeah, you were all over that one.
Yep.
And then I'm probably going to do a Red Lantern book here because I got the Guy Gardner Green Lantern. But I need to find that first appearance of Atrocitus and the Red Lanterns to really actually pull that together. So I think once I find that out in the wild, I'll probably do that video. But you know, if I don't do a comic haul video or anything, I'll try to find a topic and just throw some more knowledge out there for everybody to help bring everybody into the comic fam. So, but yeah, Instagram, Facebook, that's where I'm at. Send me messages on Instagram if you got questions or you need help trying to look stuff up. You know, I'm always looking on the eBays and, you know, the Go Collect and the comicpriceguide.com and all that good stuff. So,
well, I appreciate it, man. And, you know, you be you. And everybody's going to enjoy that content because it's us as individuals and it's our individuality and our opinions that blossom new ideas and new thoughts and other things that help grow the community and knowledge and information, right?
Yeah.
Because me as an individual, I can't absorb everything all in one shot. So what do? I go to Justin Comics. I go to Skeff. I go to Vincent McLean. I pick up what you guys are into and I help learn through you guys. We all do that to an extent. So it's this community is just continuing to build itself over and over and over in layers. And that's the amazing part. So thank you very much. One really quick comment, RSR, thank you. Please hit the comments down below. We're closing out the show right now. We can address your question after the show here. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for an amazing show. Thanks for a good time. Really enjoyed your opinions. Where can you guys find me? You guys can find me here on Andy Given Thursdays. You guys can find me on Instagram at ComicManAndy. Follow me there. Ask me any question.
Not ComicMandy.
Yep, not ComicMan. It's the same spelling, really. But, you know, Monday Night Modern Men, where we read modern comic books, which sparked this debate about the modern era. Tune into us every Monday night. Tuesday nights, the Golden Guys here on the Comic Core's awesome educational knowledge. Wednesday is a great, hilarious mashup show. We're here Thursday, and the Friday is the Roundtable. So thank you, everybody. We're going to continue talking the off-air shortly here. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night. So I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go piggies out, and I'll catch you all on the flip side for the next show or video. So thanks again, guys. Have a good night.